So in this video, I'm just gonna make some expressive and experimental drawings. I need them for the art trail this weekend. I've been procrastinating. That's just what I do. But, you know, it always all gets done eventually. Sometimes we need that fire, you know, to like get us motivated. People work differently, right? That's important to say, because if something doesn't sound right, it doesn't mean it's wrong, but maybe it's not right for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, so find your energy and flow and your creativity, and that's how we start to really open up to like what we love, like in artworks. Even in our interest in living, you know, it's different. And it should be. I'm always gonna remind you that it's okay to be you, because for a long time I really feared myself, and depending on the day I still can. I don't know, it's an ongoing thing that I battle with. Just, I want to be me fully, right? And this is kind of what the channel is all about. Besides abstract, colorful artwork, expressive and automatic drawing, it's also about expressing, like using the words to convey the feelings and emotions. And sometimes I'm very poetic because that's just my natural sensitivity and sensibility, you know. It was always with me long before the artist returned. I think it was just something innate within my beingness, you know. And of course I wouldn't see the whole story until years later. And then also within those years I would have hard trials and tribulations, and you know, it doesn't really just because you have a great epiphany and maybe many awakening points, it doesn't mean life doesn't still happen. That's for damn sure. So what are we gonna do? A big part of me trying to open those doors and kind of speak to the harder points is so you don't have to fear it, you know. You can kind of release more into being and then go into your full creativity and your artistic expressions. You know, create that space around you so you can live fully into your sovereignty, not just as an artist and creative, but as like a creative being, right? Because we all have like the right to our creative voice, our expressions, and to take up space and to have the moment if we decide we want to. That's very important, and I want to say that to you because, you know, aren't you just tired of pretending? I'm a mixed media abstract artist, soulful creator, intuitive guidance channel, and here it's just a little bit about being deep but playful, being really poetic and soulful, very colorful in all the ways, but black sometimes still comes into play. I'm not opposed to it. You see, oh, I can't do it. You see right there. It's in there. I love like an inky mark.
Sometimes, you know, in regards to pretending, we don't really go where we desire to go because we look too much externally at everything else. Or another thing that can happen is we fear what the expression is, you know. And sometimes that stuff happens at the same time, which suddenly gets really confusing at times. But here in these small moments, these are just small works on paper, 6 inches by 9 inches. You know, we're just taking the time to have like an experiment of an expression. It's a tiny moment, right? It doesn't have to be this huge thing. We can learn to let go in the process of it all, not just like in the mark making and, you know, the color, line, shape, and form, but in our energy and emotionality, you know. So all of that stuff is firing and wiring and working together, you know. The awarenesses are many. That's important to realize, because there's many parts. There isn't just like one clear plan, you know. Think of a map. Yeah, you need to maybe follow certain directions, but sometimes you take the detour, or the road is blocked, or you gotta go a different way, and that's where I'm more interested in focusing on in my practice, actually. How do I take all these alternative routes, and also like mine from the inspirations that I see around me, not just in like other people's artworks, but like music, poetry, words, whatever like lights me up. But find out what lights you up, right? Because that might be different, and it most likely should be different, and that's okay. And I think that's where I want to teach from, it's like letting you know that it's okay, but there's like these many different like roads to go down, and sometimes we have to go down them, but then we're like going down the road and we're like, wait, this isn't where I wanted to go, I need to go over here. And then you get more clarity. Sometimes we do like face that like detour or dead end in art and living. But then sometimes it comes back around too, like in a bigger and better way. So I wouldn't just like shut it out completely, right? But you want to learn to discern and be vigilant, like within the awarenesses. And that's like a multi-layered, multi-dimensional, and multi-tiered process, and that's what I'm interested in speaking on more and more too, because I could see it, for myself. So these are just my perceptions, but they're pretty open to a different understanding, it's a different way to talk about it, and I'm good at it, So when I say that, it's like owning it, right? We want to own where we are and get secure and safe within ourselves and learn to face it all. And I mean all of it. I don't mean just like the parts you like. You want to like look at the parts you don't like internally in yourself, and then in the artwork, because that's gonna start to like really change and rearrange you. So it is emotional, right? And I would say like this intuitive work should be highly emotional, because emotions and energy creates intuition, at least from my perspective. And, that sensitivity, you become more sensitive the more you work over time. Nobody can really give you that but yourself. So it's like just a reminder that you have to be in the practice, right? And these little moments right here, making small works and kind of working rapidly, it's going to really start to train your ability and open your intuition more, because we all start like with intuition at different places. That is always expanding, which people don't really talk about that, but it's because that's a practice in itself, just like meditating and honing the energy and the awareness and opening the body, heart, and mind, and I would say even spirit. But that's just the way I see it. It's all connected. It's always been all connected, and in art and living, and I would even say in healing, you need all those components to be like holistic and whole, and that relates back into creation. So when we're like moving into these marks and moments, we're just like opening to more awarenesses, and over time you're starting to see and feel like, what is it for you that and where do you want to let go into? And maybe it's a little risky, and maybe it's a little strange, and maybe you finally want to say something you never said, and then it gets kind of exciting but fearful. But when we can get past that fear, it gets really, really, really exciting, because then you're free. You're free to fly into all of these expressions, and that is exciting.